I love the freedom, I love the purity. It makes me feel like I am a bird myself. It's something that you have to feel, something that you have to experience firsthand. Flying is just awesome.
We're hosting the Sailplane Grand Prix at Worcester Cape Gliding Club for the first time, I think, in 7 years. Worcester is unique in that we have thermal conditions or thermic conditions, which means we can fly many of the days in the year just in thermic conditions. But in those days that we don't have thermic conditions, we have long mountain ranges that run in an easterly and westerly direction and a northerly and southerly direction. And if the wind blows onto those mountain ranges, it means we can fly long distances in non-thermic days. This means we can fly pretty much 300 days of the year at Worcester, which is very unusual for gliding environments. It's a great place to fly, most beautiful scenery you can imagine. We're very privileged to live here and fly here.
This is my home airbase. This is where I did my license. It's a beautiful place. It's the people call it Worcester magic. This is the first time I've been at a Grand Prix. It's more exciting, more speed. It's because all the gliders are on a level playing field, so it's just a race to see who's the best. It's pretty exciting.
It's quite a good competition for international participation. It really puts South Africa and Worcester on the map internationally for a really excellent place to fly. And I think the guys are really looking forward to seeing what Worcester has to offer.
We've got 12 pilots. We've got a range of international pilots here and local pilots, some of the very best in the world. We have a few rookies, like myself. I'm also taking part, but most of them are very experienced and have flown this style of competition before.
I've been many times in South Africa. However, it's my first time here in Worcester, and I've made 2 flights now so far, and it's beautiful. It's really magnificent. It's very impressive, and the speeds are astonishing along the ridges. It's really beautiful. The Grand Prix is a different kind of competition we usually fly in gliding, and I love the format of Grand Prix. The maximum would be 20, and here it's even 12. So it's really fun. It's really everybody's starting the competition day at the same moment. So it's a real race, and that's really fun. I'm excited, but because I don't know this area very much. First, I have to fly safe in this area before I can fly fast in this area. The level of the pilots here is very high, so it's going to be very competitive.
I am the only female competing. I have done several world championships and national championships. I'm in the women national team since 1991, and so far I've been twice a women world champion, and I also participated in men world championships. I've been flying in Worcester now the 4th season, I think. Yeah, it's completely different than the flatland flying or the flying in the Alps in Europe. So I'm not an expert here. That's my first competition here at Worcester. Being day 1, I think the weather looks promising, so we'll see what the week will bring, and I'm happy to be here with all the friends we know from many other competitions, and yeah, let's see how it goes.
My home airport is Königsdorf, which is a little bit south of Munich, and I'm used to flying in the Alps. I have been here a couple of times in Worcester, but actually it's my first Grand Prix, which I'm flying. And yeah, let's see what happens. It's interesting to fly with the best South African pilots to see what they are doing, what we are doing. I think they will be definitely the favorites for the competition, but maybe we can annoy them a little bit. We'll see.
So I'm very excited, and I just very curious to see how the other guys are going to do, because they are far more experienced in this terrain, and well, will be a lot of fun. I'm flying in the mountains a lot in the southern France, so I'm there almost every year for the last 8 years, and so mountains is not a big deal for me. So it's just the area that I'm not very familiar, not in every part.
I come here since 3 years, and the funny thing is 4 years ago I could fly with Oscar as a passenger in the double-seater, and he showed me a lot of things. And now I'm coming back and I can fly in the same group than my teacher from that time, so that's really great. I love it. And so that's my second Grand Prix. I look forward, and the good thing is there are so many good pilots, and the most of them better than me, so for me it's a great experience.
The South Africans have an extremely good chance of being successful. We have the Godrian brothers, Oscar and Lawrence. They are very experienced and extremely fast. They know these conditions well. They've flown lots in Worcester, so we expect really good results from them.
I've been gliding since 1978. Got about 5,000 hours on gliders. I also fly power planes. I love competition flying. To me, it's all about the thrill of the race. I've been to 2 Grand Prix finals. Love the concept. It's a thrill a minute, and yeah, hope to do well. It's all about decision making and timing. Competition is always tough. I mean, competing at this level, there's no room for errors. You have to be on top of your game the whole time.
We also have Ace Jonker, the owner and manufacturer of Jonker Sailplanes, an extremely fast pilot, and we're expecting good things from him as well.
I do have faith in Uncle Ace's flying. I know that he's an extremely good pilot. We'll give him the cleanest glider possible and make it as easy as possible for him. We hope he does well.
This is my third Grand Prix I'm flying in. I've been flying in South Africa one, and then in France, and this year now in Worcester. I'm normally a flatland pilot coming from Potchefstroom. This is my second time I'm flying in Worcester in a mountain competition, and I'm quite looking forward to this. This is a lovely place to fly. It's awesome terrain. There's lots of different options that you can execute, and it seems that the task setters are selecting the straightforward routes. They're going to make it a bit challenging to us. I'm always a bit nervous flying in the mountains. You have to concentrate very hard. You have to keep your distance from the mountain and have enough options. Flying in the mountains is a much higher risk, especially flying competition.
All the planes flying are from Jonker Sailplanes. About half of them JS1s and the other half JS3s.
It's nice to fly against the top pilots in the world flying our aircraft. So it's lovely. It's very rewarding.
We're flying at a wing loading of 50 kilograms per square meter, which isn't high, but it levels out the competition, so hopefully the JS1s can keep up with the JS3s.
We had it here about 4 or 5 years ago, and then I was just an observer, and it was all very exciting. This time around it's really wonderful to have it here and have our own competitors taking part, a lot of our own members, and they're really experienced, really good pilots, so it's really nice to see them taking part in such a prestigious event.
I've been gliding for 30 plus years at this club, Worcester, where we have the Worcester Magic. I've flown in many competitions over the last, 25 years or so. I've never flown in a Grand Prix. This is my first time, so it's quite exciting, very different flying styles. And I must say, learning a lot about flying in our own mountains from the foreigners who fly in the Alps. I've flown with some of the pilots before, in Europe and here, but some of them I haven't flown with. And so it's interesting seeing other people's flying styles and working out which sort of style of flying works best. Mountain flying is interesting. It's dangerous, but it's also very exciting. And being able to see your competitors all the time around the track is very different from flying flatland, where very often you lose sight of each other and you don't even know what time they started. We've got a 400+ kilometer task today, and all on the mountains. And so I think we'll get some huge speeds during the week.
Today's day one, so we'll see how it goes. Yesterday with the practice day, everything went smoothly. So we are well practiced as we just finished the Western Cape Regionals last week.
Even though we had a practice day yesterday, it's going to take it easy to see how everyone flies and where they fit in. It is going to be a nice day. We're looking forward to some good weather. It'll be a stressful start when the gate opens, and then probably half an hour in, everyone will settle down and we'll get our rhythm. So day one, really positioning ourselves, finding out the conditions and where we fit in.
Start line opens in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Good luck!
The task that we have set today is a little bit, and that's why it's called a Grand Prix, It's a little bit like a car racing or a yacht racing event. So the pilots will actually start at a discrete point and at a discrete time all together, and then they will run along a task of total task length today of 412 kilometers. So we are starting off here in Worcester, then we go all through the Tulbach Valley, jump across into the Swartland, have a turn point here up at a place called Renosterhoek, all the way down past Wellington and almost past Wellington to a point here which is called the Baines Clove Pass. And then we are throwing some spanners in the work because up to now the task was actually fairly easy for the pilots to fly. There's a ridge, they're almost all flying the same aircraft, so they just need to follow each other at high speed. But now comes a decision point. Now pilots need to get across this valley to the other side of the ridge, which will now be sitting in a southeastern wind as opposed to a western wind on the front ridge side. And they will need to reach a little place there called Naudesberg. And from then on, we will send them all the way down to almost Villiersdorp to come back through that valley and in for landing.
I'm flying now for 42 years, starting in 1981, and I have about 7,800 hours to fly on gliders. It's such a beautiful country, and rich riding in this area is so great fun. At the beginning of the task, I was in the position of 7 or 8 about, and then we crossed the valley, and always the leading 5 or 6 very, very close together. Great start. Hard race, but a lot of fun, and with so fantastic pilots, it's a great pleasure.
That was a huge amount of fun. Went to places I haven't been before, got low in passes, and had a lot of fun with the turbulence and unpredictable winds. But we got home in the end, had a lovely last leg. I must say, caught up a few places, but I made a mistake at the beginning and went through, I missed at Vijhoek, I missed the saddle to get through, to get onto Mostershoek, and so I had to go around the mountain instead of through the saddle. But yeah, a lot of fun, thank you.
It was amazing, really fast to begin with. These pilots are so good. Just try to keep up. It worked really well until we got to Baines Kloof, and then it all got mixed up. And I think the task setter did that on purpose, and it worked really well. So it spread the field. Some people made mistakes, like me, but I don't mind. I got back. I really enjoyed the flight. Yeah, my first Grand Prix flight. Happy with that.
I did a big mistake while crossing the valley here from this side to that side over there. Maybe you cannot see it. That was the challenging part of the thing, and I was too impatient, so I found all alone 3 meter, but I should have taken it all the way to the top, and I didn't. And then it was a challenging crossing over the valley because the second last turn point was 1,200 meters high, and I just could not make it into the sector. And the whole mountain ridge was in a heavy downdraft, heavy thing. So I thought, okay, cross the valley again to the east. Let's try again, or take the jet.
So you went out and back in again?
Yeah, of course. So I went all the way crossing the valley to the conversion lines. Then I struggled because I was too low. I almost wanted to start the jet. And then I said, okay, now I have all the time of the world. I go up again and I try once more. Then it worked.
That's fantastic weather. I think fantastic weather. It was fantastic around fast up the hills. And then crossing to the difficult sector, I was a little bit aggressive. So me and 2 other guys pushed ahead quite aggressively. And on the last moment, I changed my plans. Instead of going to the thermals and the conversion, I thought the ridge will work with the wind, but obviously there were some other wind forces there, and we got into the side of the mountain that was in the lee, and therefore we were dumped, and we couldn't get to the height of the turn point, and then we were too low to get away from there. So start the jet and climbed up. This was a real good lesson, and I think somebody warned me about this phenomena, And in the end, I thought the wind looked so good onto the ridge, it must work. So it was good. I had the information, I just didn't use it.
Well, the flight turned out quite as expected, but in the end I did a bad decision. It was absolutely stunning. Great race, fantastic flight, and congratulations to everyone who got around here.
In general, we've had no incidents, no real hazards, so I'm very happy with the way that things have gone.
Halfway through, we'll know who the top pilots are, who's really in the running, and then things will heat up.